Good morning, everyone, from Dunrovin Ranch on a very sunny summer. Well, actually, it's still spring day. We are so excited to be back in the saddle, as it were. The guest ranch is open, and Harriet and Swoop and their wonderful three chicks, Pfizer, Maud, and JJ, are doing well. Doing well in spite of the rising waters from the Bitterroot River. Every year at this time, I have to say that I get a little nervous because it's a challenge for the ospreys to catch fish in that river that is so swollen and overflowing. But this is all part of spring in Montana, and I'm delighted to have our wonderful friend, Brandon Carpenter from the Hashknife Ranch, back with us today to give us some more news of spring events from his part of the world. So with that, I'll ask James to get the video rolling.
Hey, good afternoon from the Hashknife. Well, this morning we had a incident where we brought a little one in, put him in a hot box, or her in a hot box, and basically saved her life because she was just chilled down and too cold. We've got a video on that. We've maybe already reviewed with you, but I had to kick them out. I cleaned this up back behind here in these jugs, and now I have got to make room for this. So I've got that cow and calf are now in an alleyway in the corral, and they can actually go out if they want. And I brought in this heifer I've been watching, and see her water sack, and I see a couple of feet just starting. So we're going to monitor her, watch her a little bit. And this is a first-time heifer, so she's kind of unfamiliar with this whole thing, but it's funny, they know what to do. I saw her water break appear about 5 minutes ago, so she's progressing pretty fast. I'm not too worried about her. Two feet are out. They're pointed in the right direction. The soles are down, the tops of the hooves are up, so that tells me that that baby is coming head first was just exactly what we want. You can see the size of her bag for a heifer. She's got a huge bag on her. Got a lot of milk there to support this calf with, so this is really good. Now we just hope she's not too immature mentally, and we'll take this calf, protect it, and feed it up so it gets really nice and big. There we go. Just see a nose coming. Couple more pushes and she'll have him out. There we go. There's the head. Get those shoulders, and the tough part's done. That's gotta hurt. Here we go. Just gotta get that sack off of that face. Clean him up so he starts breathing. Get those hips delivered. Sometimes they'll stand up and the babies will fall out. About 2-3 more pushes and she'll have those. There we go. I see the sack has broke off his face. Good. There we go. So I see the nose is clear. Calf is shaking his head a little bit. I can see him breathing. So I'm not going to intervene. No reason for me to. She'll start licking him. She might grab that sack and pull it off. Cleaning that navel off. Licking them, getting that. Get that baby to moving. I think they roll them around like that, make sure they clear that sack. Just kind of just an instinct. You know, they don't all do it, but this is their first calf. That other cow from this morning is right there with her calf that we saved. So she's kind of feeling a little invaded, I think. She didn't like that other cow being so close, but there's not much we can do. Yeah, we'll see how strong. What a nice, warm afternoon to be coming into the world, that's for sure. Doesn't get much better than that. The try. she's got him somewhat stimulated to think he's going to get up. So now she's going over that amniotic sac and licking up that amniotic fluid, what come out of that water sac. And then when she delivers that placenta here in a little while, then she will consume it too. His scent is all over her nose, and that's how she's going to identify him in the future now. They are extremely keen to that sense of smell and which little calf is theirs and which one's not. They'll have a bunch of calves in a bunch, and they'll go through each one of them, sniffing them, and walk away from them until they find their own. Here we go. 14 more attempts like that, and he'll be on his feet. A little bit of a wind coming up now. It's gonna cool him off even a little more. If he can get up and get a bite to eat, fill that belly a couple of times before dark, and he'll be set for the night. Come on. Kind of shaky. Pretty good though. Get her nose and get him up. Pretty dang good. I've seen a whole lot harder struggle. And he'll try to take a step and fall down most likely. All that talking, like, also imprints her voice into his noggin. You can't help but penetrate it as loud as it is. Ooh, there you go. Caught yourself, little guy. Okay, there you go, kid. Hey, look at that. She's gonna lick that umbilical again. A lot of times these heifers are pretty new to the nursing game, so they'll keep moving around in circles, and this calf will struggle trying to get latched onto her bag, and others will take right to it. We'll see how she does. There's a step or two. He's up, staying up. Well, we're making headway. Wow, that was a leap up. I don't want this calf to go more than a day without getting tagged. I'll never catch it. It's pretty adept. I know the 4 legs go fast. Instinct takes over. Now he's really looking to that nose. Something soft. He would get around there and get close to that milk bucket, and like a typical heifer, she's not letting him in there yet and just smelling him more than anything, but he'll keep at it. He'll stay persistent until she gives up. Sometimes they get confused and they go with the front legs just like he's doing. Then they'll get their way back there. And then, see, maybe she's gonna kick her bag. She might be a little tender too. Kind of like a typical little kid. They'll just wear that mom down until she gives in. Hopefully she'll give in here in a bit. Just stand. Let her fill that belly all the way up instead of just getting a little taste. There's search, she knows you got to be up there somewhere between those legs, just on the wrong end. It's a nice strong calf. Nice little heifer, I'm sure. Yeah, she's not just right-handed. She'll go to the left side, too. Her left. Oh, look at that. Come on. There, she got that offside. That tail wag. That's some good stuff. There we go. Look at that. Squirting some milk out there even. All right. Well, we know this is going to happen. So we'll just leave them alone. And we'll talk about this a little bit here later. And hopefully everybody got to enjoy this. See a little bit about something that makes you keep doing this year after year. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed.
Brandon, that was very interesting. I think one of the things that those of us who are not around the cattle industry understand that while the maternal instincts are there, they really have to be developed. I mean, this was a young cow, and I assume that you bring these young heifers in close because you understand that things don't always go right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's exactly why we bring them in. And I'll bring in the older cows sometimes if I've got a really bad storm coming and I can see it coming. I'll bring the ones I think are close to calving so that I can just try to save the calf. It isn't that the cow doesn't know what to do, because she does. It's about saving a calf from elements. So the heifers are certainly there all the time because they're naive. They don't know exactly what's going on. I mean, there's a lot of natural things with, I know you've had 2 babies yourself, and I know trying to hold back contractions, according to my wife, is not fun. You don't do that. You go with what your body does, and they do too, but they mentally, I don't think they understand. So sometimes we've had a couple of them that just don't push very hard. I had to pull one calf, and I think we showed that it was an easy pull. But that when she just was kind of lazy and kind of like, I'm not sure what to do here, and I'm not going to try either. So you are there watching them to assist, because you can lose a calf pretty dang fast. And if they're backwards, that cow or heifer has not had a calf before, so they're not helping themselves out. And so they're not having to push extra hard, or don't try to push extra hard, even though there's plenty of backward calves born, but you're coming hip first instead of nose first, which is a lot harder to open up through that pelvic canal. So yeah, bring them in, take care of them, watch them because of the inexperience. And we're lucky. We don't breed them at yearlings. We waited an entire year. I think maybe I've talked about that. We breed them at 2 so that they calve at 3 instead of calving at 2. Huge difference in maturity mentally for that cow. She is much more likely to take that calf, where a lot of 2-year-old heifers having a calf, they're kind of babies themselves. And they're like, I don't want anything to do with this. What is this? I mean, they're just stupid. I mean, just like out of their mind stupid sometimes. So waiting that extra year helps a lot, but it's no guarantee that they're going to do it unassisted either.
Well, it's clear that the calf knows what to do. That instinct to get its first milk is really, really strong. I mean, and very persistent.
Yep. Oh yeah. You can notice there was a spot or two in there where the cow was not wanting, this heifer was not wanting this baby to nurse, and she was actually kicking it off, which is very common. These cows know when it's not their calf and they'll kick it off. Well, she doesn't even really realize she's got a calf. She kind of knows, but isn't real sure about it. So she's going to kick him off. And that calf is so single-minded. I mean, they are on a mission. And you know what? It's life or death for them, really. They don't know it. It's just that hard instinct to nurse.
Yeah, really, really important.
Yeah.
So we were contrasting that with horses. And you made a really good point in that most people don't breed a mare while they're still immature. They wait until the mare is older, a little more experienced in the world. Not that it's not their first foal, but that the horse generally is older than the calves during breeding. And it makes a difference, doesn't it?
I think it does. That and the fact that horses are much smarter than a cow. I mean, let's face it. So I think even though they don't have the ability to necessarily reason, they do have the ability to maybe think their way through it a little more and understand what's going on more than a cow does. I believe. So delaying that breeding on a mare, and I think the intelligence level is all part of that. I think about animals in the wild and what happens, and those does or cows, in like the elk moose world, they're breeding as soon as they're sexually mature, and so they're breeding at probably as a year old to have calves at a 2 or fawns, whatever the case may be. But I would imagine there's probably a fairly high mortality rate. I don't know that, but it just would make sense to me. But it's in nature, it's about numbers. It's the more that breed, the more that have the ability to have a calf or offspring, the more likely you're going to propagate that species. So you're going to take some losses, where we try to minimize our losses for more economic reasons than anything.
Yeah, we're learning from the use of web cameras that this is also true in birds. Immature birds don't necessarily know what to do with chicks when they have them. There's an osprey's nest in New Jersey where the mother's not feeding her chicks. She doesn't know what to do.
How about the male? Is he not either?
And he's not either. And normally the male does not. Now, again, there's a lot of variation. And this is one of the wonderful things about web cameras, is it's teaching us just how much variation there is, both between the genders and also between individuals. And part of it probably is related to age. I mean, you take a look at our bird here, our matriarch, Harriet. She really knows what to do and how to do it, but that's come from years of experience.
Right.
And she taught her new mates what to do. She basically taught them. You could watch it.
Well, and I think that says a lot, like you say, about the individual within the whatever species it is. I mean, all of these cows, you got 100 head of cattle here, and they have different personalities when it comes to these calves, and it may be very, very small, something that only I would notice because I'm around them all the time, and some of them are wildly different. So it's going to be interesting to watch this cow that I did not get on film. This number 113 last year, this year I thought she was gonna kill that calf because she just kept banging it around and smacking it because it hurt her. She didn't understand what was going on. And it took me, working with her to accept this calf, and I had to intervene. But it'll be interesting to see what she does next year, and I'll watch her closely because I'm interested in knowing whether she fully now understands, like, oh, hey, this is supposed to happen. I love my babies, so who knows? Or she might hate it again. I don't know. Well,
if you do video her next year, and let's compare them. I mean, I think that's part of the fun of all of this.
It is. It's interesting because I can look at some of the cows and I can tell you, oh yeah, this one did this last year and the year before did this, and I remember this calf. And then there's others that Lisa takes very diligent notes on what the cows have done and has that in the past, which is super helpful. And the cow that calved last this year, she last year lost her calf. And I went, okay, well, she had also lost her calf the year before that. I'd given her a chance. I forgot about that, but I can't condemn her so much because I believe she stepped on the calf, probably defending it from a coyote. I can't condemn her for that. That's not, she's trying to protect that calf. So, you can tell and see what kind of things they do. There's been a one cow that's basically abandoned her. She abandoned 2 calves, and we found one after it had been already alive. This is 5-6 years ago. Found it dead the day we branded. I was like, that's odd. What's going on? And so 2 more calves that she really didn't take care of. So she went through Walmart somewhere and not through the front doors. Maybe out the front doors.
Right.
And we can't have animals like that.
Oh, no, exactly. And those that are such good breeders, you really want to hold on to because they can lighten your load. Yeah.
Yeah. And a cow like that, I mean, she's almost like she's a sociopath. I mean, she just does not want to have a calf on her. And it's like, that's just not normal. I don't think in our most of our species, most mothers want to keep their babies.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Brandon, as always, this has been such fun talking with you. As I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, we're going to take a little hiatus, primarily because we here at Dunrovin are, having some startup issues, getting started with our season again. Where our farriers out there today getting the whole herd shod. So we have a few obligations that we need to attend to. But I want to welcome you to the ranch in about 2 weeks. You'll be here, and I understand that Kalen will come.
He will come. We just found out a couple of days ago his leave was approved. So he's going to, he's actually in a wedding. And so not his own, but one of his best friends, almost like a brother to him. And so the day that we come over, he'll be having to clean up that morning. So we're going to have to do some fancy footwork to get us both there on time for that noontime meeting. So we'll see how that goes. We're moving some vehicles and strange airports around if we can fly.
Yeah, great.
We may be a couple minutes late, but he is going to be coming with me. So that'll be great.
Yeah, well, don't hold yourself to the noontime. You know how flexible we are here. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, and I'm just thrilled that he's going to be able to come. It's a long time since I've seen him, and I've so enjoyed him on all of these videos and corresponding with him and his beautiful stories. Did you read his story, his Memorial Day story?
I did. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I'm kind of rough and I'm not polished at all. We all know that. I mean, I'm not going to even hide it. This is as polished as it gets. I mean, and he can bring out emotion. His writing that is really, really touching. It's really good, and we're very proud of him and his ability to do that. And I hope he keeps doing that at some point. When we talked about this very thing yesterday on our Hashknife Ranch MT, on our YouTube channel. We sat down, we did a couple of episodes last night, yesterday afternoon, and kind of talked about some of the things. And he did one on his own because he called it a thinking time. If you have been on our channel, you'll see the different types of venues that are on there. Small, some are hour long, some are 15 minutes, some are just a couple of minutes. He calls ramblings, but this was thinking time because we had a video we had done a week ago on hay purchases, which you are more than familiar with if you have animals.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, his mic failed, a wire on it, or the plug-in, and it was very echoey and didn't sound good. And we talked about it, and he told me what happened. I said, well, let's just redo it. We can talk about these things. There's nothing new about it. It's about quality and trying to get people to understand why. And we're not going to produce something that people don't want to listen to. They may not want to listen to it for another reason, but not because of the sound quality.
Right.
So we've got all of those things on there, and he did one that was very interesting. It was kind of funny how he's come along and on the technology side of this thing. So I'm kind of rambling there a bit myself, but it's fun to see his writings, and you can see. I see some of the people he's put in there. It's somebody who's not named, but I know who they are. Sometimes I see myself in there. Sometimes my dad, my grandpa's. It's kind of neat to see that from a different perspective.
He has a real talent, Brandon, and I hope he develops it. Yeah. And I think it's clear that he gets pleasure from that talent. So let's hope he use it.
In a way, I think it's a way for him to be able to connect to the ranch and what's going on here as well, because he's an Army captain in a medical corps, and he is a trainer in that field, as well as he's in his continuing education. He's getting his MBA at Colorado State at the same time and doing this kind of work. He puts in a tremendous amount of work every week just on these videos, along with doing the school work and then his normal job that just jerks him everywhere, as you can imagine, in the military. So it's a challenge for him, but I think in some ways it's maybe cathartic as well.
Oh, good. We look forward to seeing both of you. And we do have some things lined up for you. We're going to spend a lot of time in the round pen. Most of my staff has not had the opportunity, and I think you're really going to enjoy the staff that we've gotten there. They're all anxious to meet you, Brandon.
Outstanding. Well, we can't wait to see them. So it'll give us a couple of weeks, and we'll be buzzing the house. Maybe literally. Maybe I'll just call you and say, "Come get me." So
that's great. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, Brandon, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
We'll see you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.